nothing good. Calls out reactors just for the views. Then he shuts down like he's hitting the snooze. News flash, dumbass, nobody cares. Ryback, holding those tears. You're dumb as fuck and it's time to retire. Kerosene in the brain and it's probably on fire. You're washed up as been, a wannabe never been. Champion like you think you deserve. Nobody listens to the Ryback's words. All that beef, man, I'll manage a special. Couldn't get to the top, start to what different level. No, it's too damn bitter, doesn't know where to begin. Put up another poem, can't retire you again. Life must be hard when you have more head and wisdom. Eating those chips, but not the one on your shoulder. Ain't about a Superman, traded his balls for a boulder. You washed up as been, a wannabe never been. Champion like you think you deserve. Nobody listens to the Ryback's words. All that beef, man, I'll manage a special. Couldn't get to the top, start to work different level. Now it's too damn bitter, doesn't know where to begin. Put up another poem and can retire you again. Got you hurt, it's not his fault, you're a failure. Acting like you hit your mom with a derailer. Focused on the wrong thing, big man. Focus on yourself, don't be your own stand. You're washed up to spin, a wannabe never been. Champion like you think you deserve. Nobody listens to the Ryback's words. 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 Bald ass beef, man, who managed a special. Couldn't get to the top, some to a different level. Now he's too damn bitter, doesn't know where to begin. Put up another poll, we can retire you again. All that beef, man, I'll manage a special. Couldn't get to the top, some to a different level. Now he's too damn bitter, doesn't know where to begin. Put up another poll, we can retire you again.
Yeah, what's going on? Why am I sounding like this? All right, it sounds kind of crazy right now. Hold on. All right, let's try this again. Okay, that sounds a lot better now. That's good. That's good. Let's put this right here. That way it can be nice and close by. There we go. What's going on, fellas and not fellas? Let's let the eye read. Ah! So obviously, I forgot to bring my. I told myself to get my XLR cable from church. Clearly, y'all see I didn't do that. So I'm stuck with again this. Did y'all see that? Am I tripping? Less than stellar wireless mic. So it's just gonna have to do the job for today. We're gonna thug it out for this stream. And then hopefully next stream I have my XLR cable and we will be able to do everything the way we wanted to do it. But before I even get down to everything I wanted to talk about today, let's just go ahead and say that look at your likes. You gonna tell me to look at my likes instead of liking it? How about you like it and change that? But R. Kelly might as well be, but Diddy's cooked. He was already cooked off the rip, but when everything came out on Friday, yeah, it was Friday because I was getting off work. So Diddy's cooked, and actually, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but Sean Combs decided to post an apology. So I just want to go ahead and look at that apology real quick because let's see what he got to say.
times in your life, but sometimes you gotta
Go
do
on.
that. I was fucked up.
Of course you were.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses.
Hold on.
My behavior on that
Here we go.
is so
Pretty good.
difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that.
Just one quick thing though. Didn't you vehemently deny the accusations that were brought against you? And one of those accusations were that you physically abused her?
I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior
wow.
on that video is inexcusable.
Of course it
I
was.
take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Of course you were.
I'm disgusted.
I am too.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
Were you? Were you? When were you disgusted, Mister Combs? Were you disgusted in the act when you were doing it? After the act, when you allegedly kept doing it, or I'm just trying to figure out for myself and the rest of the entire world, when were you allegedly disgusted with yourself?
I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
Uh,
I'm so sorry,
yes, you are.
but I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
Yes, you should be.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
All right, so that's Diddy's apology. Now, I'm not one to say whether someone should forgive or not forgive. That's not my. It's not my speed. But it's just kind of weird. It's kind of interesting that just a few months ago when the allegations came out and then the settlement came, I do believe that in that settlement it was stated. Hold on, let's see. Let's look at this settlement. What's her name? With Cassie? No, I want the old one. Rapping. All right, there we go. This is the one I wanted. Rapper, music executive. I'll let y'all read with me. All right, so rapper and music executive Sean Combs and the singer Cassie have reached a settlement in the lawsuit Cassie filed accusing him of and abuse. It was announced Friday. The announcement of the settlement comes just one day after Cassie, a singer and entertainer whose full name is Cassandra Ventura, filed the suit against Combs, known as Diddy. Are you a Sigma with Kai Sinat Riz? I am not a Sigma. What the heck does that even mean? I decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. Ventura said in the statement, I want to thank my family and blah, 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 blah. I want to get to what he said. Combs also said in a statement that they resolved the matter amicably. I cannot talk today. I wish Cassie and her family all the best love, he said in the statement. Okay, here we go. Ben Brathram, a lawyer for Combs, on Thursday rejected the accusations, calling the offensive. So here's the part right here. Calling them offensive. Stop that. Calling them offensive and outrageous, and said Combs vehemently denies them. All right, so here's the statement. All right. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He said he is happy they got to a mutual settlement in which is Miss Ventura the best. So, just this was back. I want to say this was this was November 17th of last year. So from November, he was vehemently denying the accusations against him that were laid upon him by Cassie. But now we have cold, hard evidence of at least part of the accusations that were brought up against Mr. Combs. Now he's going around the route of saying that, oh, I feel terrible. I was in a very dark place in my life. I'm so ashamed. But just 6 months ago, you were vehemently denying the allegations. 6, 7, 8 months ago, whatever it is. But you were saying that she's lying and all these other things, and now we have the evidence. Are you going to apologize for lying and saying that you didn't do it? Because clearly, in your apology, you acknowledge that you knew this happened and you were ashamed of yourself and sick. You found it sickening in the act. Sometimes I wish these celebrities had better apologies. Now, I kind of knew something was up because it doesn't take a lot for me to believe that a lot of the people that are in these high spots are sick, especially when you start looking at some of the music that was coming out from Bad Boy. I've talked about it a lot of times with Isaac on the Unbounded podcast, how we sat there and looked at very suspect lyrics. And a lot of those suspect lyrics came from none other than the late. I am not calling him great anymore because something's telling me that he probably has something to do with a lot of the stuff that Diddy had going on all these years. And I'm talking about Big. That man said a girl looks so good he performed head on her dad. Let's just say that. There's a lot worse that has been said by Christopher Wallace in a lot of his music. And a lot of times people like to say, well, they rap about stuff they don't live. A lot of that stuff you may think they don't live it, but that's one that I'm almost willing to give him that he is. Team Diddy is crazy. Being on Team Diddy in a time like this is that what you're willing to stand on? Is this the business you're standing on right now? Team Diddy. After what just came out Friday, you're really. I'm gonna just keep that as a troll. You're trolling. So it is what it is. You're trolling. W troll, I guess. But unfortunately, you may be trolling, but there are people out there that are like, well, he's in this position of power. He should have what he wants, and that's a stupid thing that's really a stupid thing to stand on. But hey, stand on what you want to stand on, my guy. So yeah, I don't know if there's any criminal investigations out right now against Diddy. But the more that starts to come out about him and the more we start to see, I can definitely see him having a surviving Diddy type thing to the extent that R. Kelly had. Y'all remember R. Kelly had this? They had the series about R. Kelly called "Surviving R. Kelly," where a lot of the victims of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, they came out and told their story. I would not be surprised if in the next 5 to 10 years we have a series to the extent of that called "Surviving Diddy." So it's. I really do believe it's only the tip of the ice. We've only cracked the tip of the iceberg when it comes to a lot of the stuff that Diddy is behind. Who knows? There are still some people that were part of Bad Boy. You got Mace, a lot of guys that are still around that were around Diddy during that time period. We saw what happened with TD Jakes, a lot of other guys, Meek Mill, and then from that they had all the kids get up, whatever it is. But that's all I got to say about that because I don't want to really sit here and spend 30 minutes talking about how done Diddy is. because I really want to get to some other stuff like how the time to get political, I guess. So right wing, the conservatives, the Republicans, whatever you want to call them, they really are not escaping this. You look like you would hit someone. I'm big, but I trust and believe I wouldn't hurt a fly. I'm really harmless. I'll fuss before I fight. But the conservatives are not helping themselves in any way, shape, or form when it comes to the things that they say. And as somebody who doesn't really side with either side of the political aisle completely, I have this ability to sit back and observe. And really, what I do is I just sit here and look at how stupid both sides can be at a lot of things. There's some times where I'm like, okay, maybe they have a point here, maybe they have a point there, but then for the vast majority of the time, I'm sitting here looking at them like, you guys have to be the most dumbest people walking God's green earth, and somehow y'all got to the point where y'all got millions of people that vote for y'all to be sitting in these high positions and make decisions about our lives and basically screw everything up. So if anybody wants to know my political views, that is it. You all suck. I don't like any of you. Let's try again. So today I really just want to focus on the right, because what I've started to understand is growing up, you kind of had this. What's up? You kind of came up, especially now within this time period I grew up in a black home. You heard that the Republicans were racist. Are all Republicans racist? No. I'm just go ahead and throw it out there now. No. But what doesn't help is a lot of the things that Republicans stand on doesn't help their case, because what happens is they run on things such as DEI, going against DEI, and they started to use DEI, which is their diversity, equity, and inclusion, as their talking point to basically say that. And a lot of people may not stand on in this way, but what happens is if they feel like someone isn't as qualified as they would want them to be, and it just happens to be somebody that's not a white man, it's DEI. So what I saw this today after church, and so the Patriots have hired their new coach after letting go of Bill Belichick, who is Gerard Mayo, who was a former linebacker for the Patriots for a few years. And so Gerard Mayo is a very young coach, actually doesn't have any coaching experience. And they decided to go with him as their head coach. Now, we're going to sit here and listen to what is being said here by this YouTube account by the name of Black and White Sports 2. And they are a conservative channel. And so you're going to see exactly what I mean by they're not helping themselves escape or beat these accusations.
In sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, black and white sports supporters, let's talk about the New England Patriots. I hadn't had a chance to talk about them in quite some time. I'm glad I'm able to make this video. Man, I got to tell you, we talked about on this channel when Gerard Mayo got hired, and after that first disastrous press conference where it was clear.
So the press conference is the press conference where basically Gerard Mayo said that people see color. And literally what you're going to see in this video is the proof of what Gerard Mayo is saying, because somehow this man has become as you see in his headline, Patriots fans crush DEI coach Gerard Mayo. So already showing that he was only hired because he's black.
What exactly are the Crafts concerned with here? Was this a DEI hire? What was this?
See, he already threw it out there. And unfortunately, what happens is we saw it with Charlie Kirk when he was talking about the airplanes and the black pilots possibly being DEI, already trying to discard or discount or discredit, my fault for lack of better terms, discredit what the accomplishments of and what these pilots have learned. What if your wife hit you to? That is irrelevant.
I said I did not care if Robert Kraft had promised this job to Gerard Mayo. The moment that guys like Mike Vrabel and Jim Harbaugh become available, you don't hire this guy. You don't do it. He's never even been a coordinator. We don't know if he's ever been an assistant head coach because, well, we don't know what the titles were around the thing. But I don't know what's
I mean, the Giants also hired a head coach as just a special team coordinator, but okay.
going on with the Patriots. I don't understand why they don't want to hire.
And didn't the Patriots hire Bill Belichick's son? So I mean, okay, I guess.
An official general manager. I don't care if Elliott Wolf is essentially the general manager. Why didn't you look for and hire one prior to the draft? I don't know. I don't understand. I wasn't really impressed with their draft. And they've drafted 2 quarterbacks. And frankly, the guy they drafted later in the draft, I may like more than the guy they drafted at number 3. That's not a great look. What's also not a great look is Jacob Brissett making these comments about Gerard Mayo. And we're going to look at some reaction from NFL fans and Patriot fans.
All right, because I'm not about to sit here and watch this entire video. I made my point already. So this whole thing is basically Gerard Mayo says that Jacoby Brissett said that Gerard Mayo puts a lot more responsibility on the players, and the players have a little bit more of leeway, kind of similar. So basically, Gerard Mayo is going to be a players coach, which is not a new thing, especially in the NFL. Seahawks fan, everybody knows that Pete Carroll is considered a players coach, even to a point where it was made a point during the season where Andy Reid allows the offense to kind of work together and kind of make some plays on their own as well. So this is nothing new, but because Gerard Mayo is allegedly a DEI hire, now it's a problem. Because Gerard Mayo doesn't have a lot of experience, never has been a head coach, never been a coordinator of any sort, so now it's a problem. I don't know what to expect from Gerard Mayo. Can we at least let the man get an opportunity to succeed or fail before we start passing judgment and calling him a DEI hire when we've literally watched coaches that have been just as bad? Anybody remember the name Adam Gase? I'm sorry, as bad as Gerard Mayo could possibly be, I struggle to believe that he will be any worse than Adam Gase. So let's dead that now. So after that, just continuing on with this, the conservatives are not helping themselves beat the racist allegations. There was a bit of I want to say a scuffle, call it a fracas. There was some verbal jarring going on in Congress. I'm not 110% sure on what was going on that led to this, but there was some in the committee. Thank you for that, Miss AOC. And evidently things went a little bit left. So let's go look at this. Wrong one. So let me continue talking real quick, because that is not the one. That is nope. Hold on. Nope, that's not the one I want. But I will say this, because Laura Loomer called her a ghetto DEI Shaniqua. There goes that word again, guys. Ghetto DEI Shaniqua. So let's type in these words. What is the words I'm looking for? Beach blonde. Bad built. Butch body. Boy, I love me some alliterations. I tell you that. So I need to find the full video, because there it is. All right, so let's do this.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. I'd like to know if
Yo, I think somebody watch this again, but the sidebar conversation is going to probably take me out.
any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What?
All right.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about
just
AG
I
Garland.
don't
Point
think
of-
you
point of
know what
order.
you're here
President.
for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you're still
think your
stuck in the
fake
courtroom.
eyelashes are messing up
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on,
So, I'm gonna play a video in a few minutes. I just want y'all to remember this moment where she immediately attacked her and said, "I think your fake eyelashes are in the way." So there's a
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
your
please
screen.
regain
That's beneath
order
even
of your
you.
committee?
Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you
meeting will
attack the
suspend,
physical
meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
baby
Oh,
girl.
really?
Don't even play.
Baby
Now,
girl?
we're gonna,
I don't
we
think
are going to
so.
move, and we're going
I'm
to take your
sorry.
words down.
Hold on.
I second that motion.
Hold on.
So,
AOC is probably one of the most cringe. Baby girl. Fiddlesticks. 1 second. Oh, girl. Baby girl. Don't even play. But that's not why we're here.
Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should apologize.
recognizes
No,
Mr. Perry.
she should
Okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're
reserve the
not
right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
You're
not
striking.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman,
What?
the
What is the bait? Okay.
in order
pretty
No,
self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
okay, move to strike
I'd like
the.
to
So now she's attacking. I believe this was directed at AOC, calling her stupid or not intelligent enough.
I move to
Strike
strike
those
the
words
lady's
as
word.
well.
move to
I would
strike
like-
order.
So evidently, you're not supposed to be making personal attacks towards the people, especially based on appearance, and you'll see why that is a thing in a few seconds.
Strike the
as
lady's
well.
words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right.
get
Okay.
your
Here's
members under
the
control.
correct apology. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities.
Look at this guy's face. Oh my gosh, he was like, "Oh, did she just say what I think she just said?" Just watch.
Bleach blonde, bad built.
Hold on. Let's slow it. Let's slow it down. Let's slow it right back down to regular speed because I just want to be able to watch how his entire demeanor changed after she said what she said.
Order.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personality.
Yo, I don't know if anybody's done it yet, but if somebody could take his reaction and just like voice over nunny, it would be a banger. One more time.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
What now?
Chairman,
I'm
I make
trying
a,
to-
I make a,
She knew. She knew. It was like, I got her.
I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a
Hold on.
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those
idea what
words.
you
And now
said.
he's weak. And now he's like, yo, okay, that was kind of hilarious.
Chairman, motion to
I had
strike
no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier, literally just.
Oh,
You
y'all
just
did
it first.
voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first. So
And now she's on the defensive. Oh, okay. Now we're playing defense. So I bring that up because now the word now is ghetto. So now the word is ghetto. So let's pull up. I want this one. I think it's the one I want. So she went. No, I want the other one. We'll probably watch the other one too. So ghetto. No. So just listen to just look and listen to the rhetoric used. And I don't typically like using these words, but you don't make it any easier on yourself. And then you start to wonder why, as much as they like to parade around that a lot of black people are leaving the left, they're not joining you.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down.
No, because this is what
I
y'all
get through
do.
proceeding.
So I'm trying to
Hey,
get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games?
I can't hear
Crockett.
you. You're yelling.
You don't want
Calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please
don't
calm down?
tell me to calm down,
Calm down.
because y'all talk
Calm
noise
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
it. Because if I
Look, Chairman, can we
come
send
and talk
Clout
shit
to
about
take
her,
her for 5
y'all gonna have a
Chairman,
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Chairman.
Chair, order. Chair now recognizes
Not cute.
Miss Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes. Let Miss Green talk, and then I'll recognize.
I
one
move
at a
to
time.
strike her words for a second time based on her second set of personal remarks attacking another member.
Chairman Comer.
Because you all cannot
I have an
seem
amendment at
to
the desk. I
apply
just
the
side
rules
show
of the
you can
committee.
stop.
We have to do this every time.
Hey, I'm recognized. I'm recognized. I'm going to go ahead and start talking.
Look, I know. Look, I don't know if you've noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Miss Green and let
We
her get?
cannot because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair. That is what I'm trying to communicate in the present moment.
We have a motion. Okay, what's the motion?
The motion.
All right, guys, I'm pretty sure most of you have seen this video involving the huge argument that broke out at Capitol Hill High School, because that's what it seems like. It seems like our Congress has become a full-blown high school. And what should have been a boring, regular oversight committee hearing got out of control because of the fact that we have elected high schoolers, children, to Congress. Now, this all started when Marjorie Taylor Greene asked a legitimate question about the apparent conflict of interest between some Democrat members of Congress and Judge Merchan, the judge presiding over Trump's hush money trial, in a relationship between his daughter, who raises money on behalf of Democrats for the Democrat Party.
We'll go to gentlelady from Wyoming, then gentleman from Florida.
Mr. Chair, I'd ask
Thank you.
unanimous consent.
Excuse me. This is. Oh,
I'll get you as soon as we get after this thing. Just unanimous consent?
Yes, just unanimous consent.
All right, I don't care about all this.
helping to. The ranking member of this, Mr. Chair.
I just want to get to his point. If it would move on.
And that's what I'm asking. Former president. What I'm saying is we should all be careful about it. I think the gentlelady from Wyoming was just stating facts that are in the news report.
She accused him of a conflict of interest on the committee during the hearing. I ask that that be stricken down.
Yeah, so you're saying that you heard that. So this question, when you bring up Dan Goldman's conflict of interest, that tends to trigger Democrats, right? They don't really like when you expose their corruption, okay? So they're going to get really mad when Marjorie Taylor Greene brings this up. Now, keep in mind, this hearing is about drafting up a resolution to hold Merrick Garland, the head of the DOJ, in contempt of Congress because he's not turning over the audio tape interview of Joe Biden talking to Robert okay, in his testimony. Now, the White House has exercised executive privilege to try to block the release of this audio. So Joe Biden quite literally is weaponizing the DOJ to obstruct justice. And that's something that the mainstream liberal media is not talking about, right? In regard to Merrick Garland refusing to release his audio, even though it was requested by Congress, and the White House blocking it, okay, obstructing it. Again, this is probably the least transparent administration ever. So nobody should be surprised that Joe Biden's trying to once again cover up and hide his corruption. So without further ado, let's get into this catfight that happens in Congress after Marjorie Taylor Greene brings up this conflict of interest between Dan Goldman, Democrats, Judge Merchan, and his daughter.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What?
Yeah, so apparently, again, Dan Goldman is a client of Judge Merchan's daughter, and he also admitted on MSNBC.
All right, I don't care about it.
That would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
Words again.
Apologize. No.
Okay, hold on. Then
And that's a problem, right? That's the job, and not social media stars, okay? Because, you know, let's be honest, whether it be the left or the right, Congress be so dysfunctional, okay? This is why, like, real talk, We got to get back to electing intellectuals to lead this country, okay? Electing people who actually are serious about doing the job and not social media stars, okay? Because, you know, let's be honest, whether it be the left or the right, okay, we have people in Congress.
I'm happy he brought that up because a lot of times you start seeing that they come after AOCs and the rest of the people part of the squad. And I do believe that there are things that they are 100% serious about. And honestly, I'm not even a person that is going to say that we need intellectuals, because I do believe you need somebody that is going to be at that level with the regular people. You don't want everybody kind of being in a situation where they are just like standing over top of everybody. They don't understand where everybody else is coming from. You need people that are from the ground roots, that are building themselves up from that level and then make their way up. So I'm not 100% on what he's saying there.
Literally do absolutely nothing when it comes to advancing legislation, which is what they're supposed to be there for. And they just do stuff like this in order to get clout on social media, right? And fundraise off of it. And they, you know, raise a ton of money, but they're not very effective. And that's a problem, right? That is one of the biggest issues in Congress, is that we don't send serious people to Congress anymore, right? We send social media stars, and you know, it's just honest to God truth. It's embarrassing. It's one of the issues why Congress is.
Which is funny because many people have voted for a social media star, but I'll leave that alone.
Dysfunctional and so broken.
Second that motion.
So who will have to pay us? Okay. Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she's apologized. No.
Perry, okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry, she'll be recognized. And Ms. Green,
I'm not apologizing.
Well, then,
okay, reserve the right to
your
object.
word.
I am not apologizing.
Let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the minority.
It's self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
And I just want to go ahead and make note that MTG has been doing this for a while. And really, she's just as childish as everybody that's part of the squad. And it really is sad that a lot of times you don't see the amount of people calling her ghetto as you hear people calling like this woman here AOC. Now, I will say shout out to Hotep Jesus, because he made sure to go after everybody that was not saying anything about how MTG started the situation in the first place. And it's so funny because they'll call this black woman ghetto. They'll call her, like we saw the other person, DEI Shaniqua. Like, the heck does that mean? Like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Calling somebody a DEI Shaniqua? So I'm trying to find the tweet. He tweets a lot. Shout out to him though. I'm not mad about it. I'm just cracking jokes. The 17. Where is it at? Here we go. Shout out to him, because I'm about to go ahead and share this. So he started off earlier today saying that MTG is ghetto trash, bleach blonde, bad built bush body. And so with that, he clearly made people mad because, well, they were joking, so I ain't even gonna talk about Wendy. Somebody unfollowed him. Bye, Felicia. Unfollowed Ratchet. Agreed, but you're okay with AOC and Jasmine Crockett's behavior just as ghetto. So here's the problem. If y'all come out here and say that Crockett and AOC were ghetto, and then a liberal came to you and said, well, so is MTG, then you're having an issue because you like, well, you're ignoring what happened here, but you're doing the same thing in the reverse. So you can't have it both ways. And then again, like I said at the beginning, y'all wonder why a lot of black people were raised to believe that if you are a Republican, a conservative, whatever the deal is, and this is not just something I've heard, this is something that has been said and been asked, like, are Republicans all racist? Like, no. Are there some racist Republicans? Absolutely. Just like there's some racist Democrats. And when I got to see here, look at some of Black conservatives, like a very controversial one of that, and Bryson Gray, who has came out and said, look, as a conservative, I'm ashamed of some of y'all because y'all can't find it within you to not be racist. Like, y'all want to sit here and when President Biden made that statement on the Breakfast Club, if you're having problems vote between me and Trump, you ain't black. Absolutely racist. And the Republicans were on it like white on rice. I told you he was a racist. Jim Crow Joe, all this other stuff. But then when you start looking at Charlie Kirk, y'all quiet. And yes, both sides do it, but y'all real quiet. Like, church mice quiet. Like, pick a struggle and stick with it. But that's all I had to do was say with that. So let's get into the big thing. Because it's the big thing, the big guy. If you heard at the beginning of the stream, I played a diss track that somebody made. Shout out to him or her, I don't know. They used AI. You see the if you're on YouTube, you see the picture. I was blocked yesterday by Ryback, or as I'm going to call him, Ryback. So I'm going to try to get through listening to some of this this podcast that he dropped yesterday. He went live with Kicking It with Ross. Shout out to Kicking It with Ross, a great dude. I've been following him and Dub in the clutch for I want to say 4 to 5 years now. It was just them reacting to Chisel Adonis videos, watching Best Move stuff, and then Ross kind of, along with the pages that he and Dub have, kind of stepped out on his own, did his own thing too. And now I believe he has over 100,000 followers on his personal page, as well as his, I want to say both of their In the Clutch pages have over 1,000 followers, 100,000 followers. So shout out to Ross. Dude is a grinder out there. He does great content. So if y'all haven't followed him, go shoot him a follow. Let's go ahead and listen to this podcast and see why I'm starting to call this man Ryback, because got a free therapy session with Kicking It with Ross, because literally it felt like Ross was his therapist. And it was just bad. Just get into Vontae, just solo hitting 4. What are you talking about?
You never want to lose it because life sucks without it. That's for sure.
Yeah, you don't realize what you have till it's gone. I think we all take it. We all take our health
in series of all of that. So that, without further ado, let's go ahead and let me actually preface this with the audience. So I popped onto you, and it was on this suggested. I've never seen you before, never heard of you, didn't know anything, but you've got a great following, and you do a lot of content on there. And this actually happened. I don't know when the first video came out, but there was a video that I don't know if it's a content creator or a team of people did on the never-ending downfall of Ryback, and it was last year, or it was 1 or 2 years ago, maybe.
So he's saucy already.
Year and a half ago, but I think they recently have re-put it out again. But I became aware of that quite some time ago and found it pretty humorous. It was filled with a lot of misinformation and was done by somebody that clearly doesn't like me and has an agenda against me. So that had popped up like a long time ago, randomly on my YouTube on that, because it dealt with me, I guess. So then you popped up on your reaction to it, and I go, oh, what's this? And then I saw a bunch of creators are actually doing reactionary videos of me from that video now, more recent. So I go, okay, this is a thing now. People are doing reactionary videos, but I actually watched a bit of it. And so I wanted to get you on here and talk, because I think it could do a lot of good. So I thank you for having, because a lot of people will create content, and I want to say this, and I think this is really important, like with it, because I think I asked you if we'd ever met, we never had, right? Never had any interaction. And I think this is a big thing, not just like with you, but content creators, it's in sports, it's especially in wrestling. There is a complete lack of respect from a portion of the fan base to the actual people that have done it and do it or have done it. And we see it in sports a lot, and we see it's happening more and more.
And that's there is a point to be made there, but at the same time, I do believe there is a lack of respect on the reciprocal as well.
Prevalent with social media, and I really think it's more of a mindset thing with people, but also it's a thing of people not meeting people.
But at the same time, I do need to go ahead and say that you have to understand that this is indeed social media, And the moment you start putting things out on social media, there are going to be people that are going to criticize what you say. I've been on the end of being criticized for things I said, and I take it like a G. But clearly, other people are not able to do that.
So reading or forming opinions based off of hate articles or people going for clicks. It's the day and age we live in where a lot of people do this on that. And so they get an idea of something or somebody, and without ever trying to reach out, ever really trying to get to know them, will create content and monetize it, and it further can hurt that person. But they have no skin in the game. But I think it comes down to a lack of respect that from people that have never done it. Like for me, I've never I respect all athletes. You'll never see me like go on bashing pro football players. You'll go, and I dare anyone to go look at my content on this. But sports or people, physical things, anything, because I know I actually understand what it takes to do it. And pro wrestling is that same thing. And I really wish everybody could go and experience one day with Build 'em Up of the training and like understand like what it takes to actually be to like cut it physically, mentally, actually do this, and that anybody at the pro level of anything has paid their dues one way or the other to actually have an opportunity to reach the highest level in their field. But I just wanted to preface everything with that. I came across your content. I want to dive into it. I'm going to turn it over to you to like an interview on your side, and Shawnee Jones.
And I want to say this as well. I'm going to be kind of cutting in and out of it. I don't think a lot of the criticisms that Ryback necessarily gets is because of him as a pro wrestler. A lot of the criticisms I have seen of Ryback has been literally because of Ryback as a person. So that everything that he says there, a lot of what I've heard doesn't really fall into the disrespect of him as a professional wrestler. It's more of disrespecting him as a person.
Whenever you want, and we'll take it from there.
I watch a bunch of your videos, bro. I actually love your content, and yeah, man, we can't. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so you resonate with me, like your style, and I love it. And just so you know, like I'm friends with the big guy, like not the character, you know, like I'm friends with Ryan, and I know who he is as a person. So like I just want you to know he never ever had intentions of coming into this negative with you, and I want you and your people to know that. Like I just, you know, but I honestly I respect your content, and we understand that you just react to those videos, and I think that was a big part of it as well, is that the person who made the video is more at fault, but obviously that misinformation gets, you know, like the game telephone, right? Like, you know, like it comes down. But thank you for coming on, and I'll be quiet now.
Thank you, Sean.
It's all good. To be honest with you, it was one of those things where I had been requested to check this video out a while ago, and when I actually did check it out, you know, he gave his opinions on stuff, and for me, it was more so of watching it and then kind of formulate my own opinion. That's kind of what I do. If I do any reaction, I'm going to formulate my own opinion, and I'm not just going to sit there and just blindly follow whatever someone creates. And in the video, I don't know if you actually watched my reaction to it or seen, you know, clips of it, but in the video, I definitely did state some of the things that I felt that WWE did wrong by you. And despite people trolling or have their feelings about you, there's one thing that can't be denied, and it's the fact that WWE did misuse you when you were there, especially at the outfit. I remember watching it. So it was one of those things where in the video, I did put that out there, you know, and made it a clear point to say, like, hey, like, despite what people think of Ryback, he was over. He was one of the most over individuals in wrestling at that time. And it was one of those things where, you know, if you like, hate him or love him, the fans wanted to see him, you know, and that was the point that I definitely wanted to make. I didn't want it to be just oh yeah, Ryback's trash, boom, 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 just to pile up on the video. Because I find that when you start doing that, especially with reactions, you kind of lose your own opinion. You kind of lose your own voice. And I kind of wanted to avoid that. So,
yeah. Can I ask you too on that, like though, because and then I looked, and you've made content on me back. I don't know how far when you first started, but like I go back years ago, and it's like Ryback's first title win. Ryback is a clown. Ryback, and then you got the Ryback called me out on Twitter. Ryback definitely crosses the line with these tweets on that. Like there have definitely been negative videos on me on the past. So can I ask you, when did you start forming a negative opinion on me?
So again, this is probably going back to not Ryback as a wrestler, but Ryback as a person.
Because it wasn't just recently. I feel like you've had it. Or do you do that? Or is it honestly, or do you do it just for, because a lot of people make content on me and create videos because my videos get a lot of views typically, or they get a lot of clicks on the social media sites, especially when they're done in a negative manner on that. Like, so can I ask you, like, did that start or why was it done?
Okay, so around that time, people were sending me stuff, especially things that you had posted on Twitter, and it was me. That was the meme. That was a thing around that time. And some of the stuff that I seen you had posted on Twitter, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't personally agree with it. But at the end of the day, that's your opinion, your life. I can't tell you.
What's something like you haven't agreed with? Like just one thing, can you off the top of your head? And I know it's live, so maybe it's not.
One of the videos that I brought up was the whole right ring of Vince's mom at that.
Perfect one to start with.
Yeah, and I wanted to have this conversation with you. I understand to an extent of why your issues with Vince, and a lot of them probably are justified for sure.
What do you think? Let's start right there. What do you think my issues with Vince actually? Because I heard you on a video talk about it was solely you think it was booking. Do you think my issues with Vince or my comment? Do you think those are solely on booking?
Potentially booking and possibly financial.
Okay, so I'll tell you exactly what it was from. The booking was very
Here
little.
goes
Actually, and I
Jack.
talked about this and explained it with all of this. It was so. You aware? Like I left WWE. I walked out. I wasn't sent home. I took myself. I was written onto the show that I walked out on. I was booked the night the pay-per-view prior was for the United States Championship, which those finishes went for me winning and being on the card at WrestleMania. I had not re-signed the new multi-million-dollar contract that they had for me, the $1.65 million contract. I did not sign it because we were having issues with my trademarks, and I had some real issues with certain things. And so they started playing little games on that on the way out with this. I was actually scheduled the following on Raw, or was it Raw or SmackDown? I can't remember. Maybe it was Raw. I think it was Raw in St. Louis. And I was supposed to be in the United States Championship Battle Royal for the #1 contender, which I was just the #1 contender the past 2 months on that. And they were going to start embarrassing me on TV because I hadn't signed the contract yet. And so it was escalating on that. But I walked in and Mark Carano was in the office with Ric Flair having a conversation. And my direct words were, "Take me off your fucking TV show. You tell Vince I'm going home." I went back. I went and got my bags. Mark Carano came running in shortly thereafter saying, "Vince, you need to go talk to Vince. We need to get a meeting with Vince." I told him I never want to see Vince ever again. I'm going home. I got my bags. I walked out. I saw some people on the way out. My good buddy Dolph Ziggler can confirm this. He made like a funny comment, like, "Big guy, you're leaving." And I just forever. And I walked out. I got my rental car from the valet. Valet goes, "You're leaving?" I go, "I'm done. I just quit." And I walked out with all of that.
So he said all that. I'm still waiting on what justified him talking about Vince's mother who died.
I never was sent home. I was never fired. I never signed the contract, and we let it expire on August 8th of 2016. But the main reason I left is I had, I don't know if you're familiar with Nexus. I had broke my ankle and leg in a match and continued wrestling, kind of an ankle injury very similar to Conor McGregor breaking his ankle. I popped up and kept wrestling on a flopping ankle and broke my leg all the way to my knee, finishing an entire comeback. There was a botched surgery with that. That caused permanent nerve damage to my perineal and superficial nerve. So this is where all my issues with WWE actually started. It was nothing to do with creative. So this was before I ever came back as Ryback. They actually thought I was never going to be able to wrestle again. They fired me. John Laurinaitis fired me. What they tried to do was illegal. I had to get attorneys. I was able to keep my job. I had 3 surgeries. 3 doctors told me I was never going to wrestle again. I came back from it with it, and I was able to come back as Ryback. But I was having significant issues with Hunter and Vince at this time of like them wanting to put me back in development and let me rot to fire me. And me, I moved back to Vegas, and they put me on the road, and I strong-armed them on it with my attorneys. So my relationship with them was strained before I ever debuted as Ryback. And I've talked about this over and over, and it's something a lot of fans and people don't want to understand or choose not to understand, that they think everything was just a result of creative. The creative was a result of everything, though, legally that was going on with that. So that injury, though, and we're going to bounce around on this, that injury, though, those nerves, just so you know, that perineal nerve runs into your back. So WWE, I just go back on the road. I probably had no business returning to wrestling even after that ankle injury because I was putting myself at risk with the nerve damage I had. That nerve damage rapidly degenerated 5 discs in my back over the course of my 4-year career as Ryback with that. Now, I started having real bad muscle issues in my back really quickly upon coming back, as well as balance issues in my leg, because my nerve in my leg, my big toe doesn't go up, and part of my foot is dead on this. I wrestled my entire career with a partially dead foot. Okay, so people understand this. So WWE started giving me Toradol and cortisone to cover up the injuries and keep me on the road every week, rather than actually like try to figure out what was going on. Again, take blame. I was told I was going to be all right, but I was making some very bad decisions with them. With what they were telling me to continue to go and continue to give everybody my best every single night, 5 days a week, 4 days a week for the 4 years that I was there. I got to a point before I walked out, I was in such pain. I had multiple conversations with Hunter in the WWE that my body was failing me and giving out. And I was trying to get him to take me off the road without taking myself off the road. And any worker knows this, you don't take yourself out of a position because I'm a man, and it's a very stubborn thing. I was looking for them to take me off. They wouldn't do it. And so there were a lot of issues going on with that, where I finally got to a point where I go, my body, I'm going to die young if I don't get out of here. I need to go talk to my own doctors and find out what's going on. So when I walked out, my injuries were actually the #1 thing why I walked out. The creative was a secondary thing at the time. And actually, I would say the creative was probably number 3 or 4 on the list. Financial definitely was in there, so you're not entirely wrong on that. As far as prior, not on the current contract, but over the past couple years outside of that. Also, it was the financial, the creative, it was the trademarks. There were also issues with them wanting me to sign over, Feed Me More, and the big guy that I'd been awarded. That we had the issues with the Ryback one, but so that was all kind of going on. Just so that was why I walked out, though. And so that was one little thing that you said. Like, the booking, though, was probably number 3 on that list.
Okay, so it basically stems from injury that you had, and they were pretty much trying to push you out the door, essentially.
Push me as far as what do you mean push me out the door?
Like, because you said they were going to put you back in developmental.
Oh yeah, early on before I ever got his Ryback, they didn't want to give me an opportunity because they thought I was wasted goods. They realized what they were doing was illegal.
So if you were, because you've made, I don't know if you were trolling at the time, but you made many posts of you wanting to get back into the ring. What's holding you back at this point? That's besides the point. But again, he's still yapping.
And then I actually had the courage to stand up for myself, which most talents wouldn't on that. And so that is where my issues with Hunter started. He came in, this is before he took over fully. He was starting to kind of make his presence known at Florida Championship Wrestling. I was there to do rehab one day with the trainer at the facility, and Hunter was there, and he came up and we had a conversation in which he told me, eventually I got to pull the plug on you. And little did he know, like, I was the one doing everything to try to make, they actually messed up a lot of things with my injury. A lot of mistakes were made by like people that got fired that people still don't like. And but I was the one that had to do the work to get better, and it was up to me. But I took that very personally when Hunter told me that, because he was probably unaware of everything that had really gone on, and I felt betrayed by him. And so that was the beginning of our issues with me and him, that because I don't hold back with that. And so even though we've gotten along at different points, I though had a few heated conversations with him before I even made it, which could be a lot of people wouldn't have the courage, but I had the luxury of, I knew they couldn't hire me with the attorneys, but that was where they were eventually going to get me back creatively, which they always find a way, because they always have the upper hand if it's not in writing. So so you would be accurate on that from that standpoint, yes.
So, all right. So with the issues with Triple H, because one of the videos I did talk about a few years back was when Triple H had retired, and the tweet that you had tweeted out how you had felt. So my question to you, and just with everything that you just pretty much put out there, at what point was there any way that things could be amended? Any type of conversations could have been had between you and Triple H where it could have been resolved? Maybe not in a business relationship, on a personal relationship. Was there any point that conversation could have been had where you can agree to disagree, maybe find a better understanding, and then kind of move forward from there? Because when you had tweeted what you had said, it came off as bitter, as you felt some type of way to someone you actually respected at one point, and now it's like, fuck this guy.
1000%. So yeah, and what's wrong with that? It's my business, so the company, and so for you guys and your people with this, and this is facts. This isn't made up, no conspiracy. I've got the paperwork. When I walked out of WWE, I'm the only talent they've ever done this with, because they knew I was going to talk based off our conversations in the back and text messages that I sent and let them know. They sent me an NDA, which Vince is notorious for me to sign over all my social media accounts and to give them my trademarks, and then for nothing with this. And this has been well documented with this. So that happened, and this is still going on in a lot of ways. And people want to play ignorant to this and think I'm some sort of conspiracy theorist. I posted proof over and over and over again of the stuff going on. They did, and they pushed out a bunch of lies about me to try to damage my character when I left, and that to try to get the hardcore fan base to turn against me. They silenced me and made it really difficult for my voice to get.
All right, so now we're past the whole Vince thing. I can go ahead and just come to the conclusion that I heard nothing that justify the comments toward his mother.
Out with all of that, and this has still been ongoing. So, and I'm going to fast forward this. I had my Ryback trademark issue when I left WWE, that I was challenging them for that in court. With that, I had to go through the United States Patent and Trademark Office. With that, WWE, just to show everybody, and this is how petty they are. So what they tried to do is, by suppressing my social media, they were aware of the injuries that I had. They were trying to dry me out and ruin me to try to way I would run out of money for the lawsuit that was eventually going to come with my trademark, to where I would have to drop it with it. So they were trying to hurt me and my family ability to make a living being an entrepreneur and starting my own brand and working for my social media. And you can know that social media is key to your success when you own your own business in this day and age with it. And so people have to understand that this is going on from a personal level of, they're trying to fucking take away from my family.
So I'm not about to sit here and listen to the whole thing. Let's just go ahead and see what, because he made a point to bring up this video here, and I just want to see what was said.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back again with another video. So, didn't plan on making a video today. I planned on chilling, relaxing. But you guys were hitting me up on Instagram and Twitter. Ryback, aka Cryback, struck again on Twitter. He lets his Twitter fingers go and he starts saying some wild shit. Apparently, he went at Vince McMahon. Now, granted, a lot of us have said some disparaging things about Vince. Granted, it mostly stems from his poor booking decisions. Vince book decisions sometimes don't make a lick of sense. But I will say, most people don't really go at like his health or go at his family in a sense of like wishing harm and death. If you do that, you need to chill. It's not that serious. You need to calm down. This is a human being at the end of the day. We may not agree with his booking decisions, but never go at someone in a way where you're wishing death upon them and their loved ones, or you talk about someone that's passed recently in their life. Like it's kind of scummy, kind of disgusting. It's not that serious. Just never get that serious. But Ryback likes to take it to the next level, and he says some really disparaging things on Twitter, and he double downs on it and is not apologetic, and it's quite disgusting. I get your disdain for Vince, but come on, bro. This is unnecessary. Let's see what Ryback had to tweet about. At Vince McMahon, like most promoters, has an insatiable urge to have control. He had no control watching his mom get beat up as a child, which is
all right. I ain't gonna listen to. He had no control watching his mom get beat up as a child, which is a horrendous thing for getting to witness as her. Like, why are you calling the mom a whore? Why? There is no reason. What does his mom have to do with this?
horrendous thing for a kid to witness as their whore mom tries to make any. Vince has failed to evolve. Fuck you, old man. And with a winky emoji. Right there in itself, that's fucked up, bro. Vince's mom recently just passed, I want to say earlier this year. And for you to do that, even if she didn't pass, for you to say that, what did you get out of that? Did that make your situation any better?
Exactly.
Granted, Vince may have treated you wrong, or you feel like he's done you wrong in WWE in the past, but did that make your situation any better now? You just had to get that off your chest. Got a little cryback. He proceeds. It's so crazy how many people are okay with a psycho billionaire toying with innocent people's lives and pouring out a human circus, but can't stand the actual truth of that man's psychological weakness. 48 laws of power. Your clock is ticking, old man. You take nothing with you. Another winky face. Bro, I can't even process where this is coming from. What prompted?
Like, we saw how CM Punk dealt with the whole situation after he left. I don't think even CM Punk during that time period was anywhere near as disgusting as what we saw here. This was 2 years ago from Ryback.
Him to tweet this out of nowhere, like I can't even process tweeting this and thinking, oh, this is gonna get him. I'm gonna get my point across. You know, I'm woke. I know about the 48 laws of power. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna sign it with a winky face emoji. All right, it's crazy, man. For someone that sits up there and talks about a human circus, he's the real circus. He's the biggest clown of them all. Cryback. Let's get into what else he had to say. This can't be debated and is a fact. This man has killed more wrestlers than anyone and continues to as he approaches his end. His mother was a nice and sweet woman. I will speak the truth as this living demon continues to try and hurt me and my brand. Hashtag Ryback trademark. You're hurting your own brand. Whether Vince is doing something behind the scenes, I don't really think Vince could care that much.
Thank you. And that brings up one of the last few points I'm gonna make about this whole thing. Because even in the Yap session that he had with Ross on yesterday, he tried to basically accuse Ross, and I believe it was WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken, that made the video about Ryback that basically brought it to be a Yap session for Ryback against Ross. But it basically, he tried to say that people were ruining his brand by making negative comments about him over the fact that he basically came out here and called Vince's mom a whore. Okay.
You're running $1 billion entity. I don't think hurting Ryback's brand is on the top priority of his list. But you being a clown, oh, you're hurting your own brand. You really should get into the circus business. I think
Exactly. Thank you. If anything is hurting Ryback's business, it's things like this. It's things like his Yap session yesterday, then turning around, following Ross, then blocking him, and then going out of his way, calling him the ghetto Cornette. No, not ghetto, my fault. The hood Jim Cornette. Even worse. So now calling him a hood Jim Cornette because he's a black man, I guess. But again, you did nothing for your own brand but hurt yourself. But somehow, some way, it's content creator's fault because we are somehow hurting your brand. I can't hurt your brand. I only got 244 followers, my guy. But it's just hilarious to me how it's everybody's fault but Ryback's. It's Ross's fault. It's WrestleMania's fault. It's this person's fault. Now he's trying to go at... No, he just sent out a tweet towards WrestleMania, basically trying to do the same thing he did to Ross. And even after getting off with Ross, he even said to his little friend that's glazing him like crazy that maybe that they should use these content creators and take some of their following in order to help build the brand and try to fight against the suppression on Twitter. Like, maybe you're being shadow banned because you are just a butt wipe. Let's go with that. But I don't know what to tell you, dog. I got blocked because I said that the issue that really was that you were just getting flamed up on the internet. And if you were watching Ross's stream while it was going on, you saw everybody was in there just flaming him up. And Ross was like, look, man, I'm laughing at it, but I'm going to go ahead and be respectful. And Ross was nothing but respectful the whole time. Ross didn't really start turning it up until after he got blocked. Not even after he got blocked, it was after Ryback came out and just started dogging Ross, and then Ross was like, all right, now it's time to go ahead and turn up. But that's all I got, dog. I'm going to get up out of here. It is 9:45. I got to get ready to go to work in the morning. Peace, love, Pop-Tarts. Always remember to drink your water. I'm out of here.
Flow, already fried from the get-go. Alligators look like gecko. Everything I do